Hello, hello. Good afternoon. Happy Thursday. It's not quite the top of the hour anymore. We had a few updates that we had to take care of. So, those of you who have been sending messages, go ahead and log in. Check Facebook because we're definitely live now. This is DF Russell checking in, guys. I have not been on. Well, I can't say I haven't been on live. Those of you who are friends with me, you've seen me on live the last week or so on my Mother's Day cruise, but I am back home now, back in the home office, getting some things done now. I see you viewers. Come on in. Come on in. Let me let you all know we are out here now. And the leaders have some things to chat about. Y'all let us know when you're in here. There's Director Carmen Ray. Let me let my girl in.
Listen, I had my plan all together, and I just realized that the Chrome is not working right on my computer. So I'm looking a little bit of tacky on my cell phone, but it is still going down. You're looking beautiful, all positioned and ready.
If people only knew what happens behind the scenes, right? Getting
If
ready.
they only knew.
The team is like, wait, where are you all? Okay, Pam McFarland said she's in my front line, right? And Pam is
Okay.
down there in big old hot Texas. And Michelle was saying, are we on yet? Someone said nobody came up. I said, we're on now. Pam, good to hear from you, Pam. She said it just came up in my YouTube. That's what I want to know because I am
Yes.
streaming live, guys, from Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube today. Director, let me see if I can tag you now in here so that it's showing up. Yeah, let me do that. I see you out there, Val.
Okay. Hey, Val.
Now I will let everyone know that the good thing about what we're doing is yes, you'll be able to see it. Although you're not on Zoom with us, it doesn't matter. Every time you comment, we'll still be able to see it. If I let me see if I can pull the chat up.
Oh, that's
Yeah, we
great.
can.
We're going to be able to see it on StreamYard.
Yeah, it should be. It should be. Let me see.
Awesome.
Yep. I'm let me see. Guys, listen, let me explain something to you all. This we've been so excited just talking behind the scenes, and we haven't been
Hmm.
out here kind of letting you all know what this is and what we all have been doing. But yes, we can see. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Comments. Yeah, that's what we want. Okay, now the comments should start showing up for us, Carmen, so we can interact with the viewers at the same time. But y'all,
Nice.
StreamYard is just like everyone else. They're not playing around, right? They want to, I see you, Lauren. They want to stay updated. They want us to update. I have to do some updates to get in here. That's why we're just now on here at about 10 after, quarter after. But we
Okay.
are ready now. We're ready now. So, director, talk about, let's listen. You saw what I put on there. I said, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Let me get real comfortable. I had every plan to be streaming from outside, but when my daughter let me know it was 105 degrees, I said, no, we ain't gonna be able to sweat this makeup off in this Phoenix sun. We ain't gonna be able to do it. So I took the easy way out and just said, I'm gonna work from the air condition today.
Understood. Well, we wanted to really talk to you all because we have a lot of conversations with partners, some people who may be on our team, some people who may not be able, someone who may not be able, or who may not be on our team, but we have a lot of conversations. That's what leaders do, you all. And sometimes the answers, hey Pam, okay, it's coming up now. Y'all go ahead. Oh, YouTube comments are showing. I gotta figure. Listen, you all keep on chiming. We see you, Carmen. I've tagged you, so if you have another doc way that you can look at the comments on YouTube from somewhere else, like on your laptop or iPad,
Okay.
feel free to do that. But I definitely want to try to engage the viewers as well. Um,
Sure.
we wanted to talk, y'all, because there are so many things that we talk about that we know you all want to know. You have some questions. Some of you are leaders out there yourselves, and we don't want to leave any stone unturned. Am I right, Carmen? So before,
Right.
some of our team, they already know who we are, but for those people, it may get out there. Let's see. On Facebook, other people may be watching, and we want to make sure that they really, really know who we are, why we feel worthy, for lack of a better word, to speak on this. And every time you and I have any conversation around leadership, I'm
Yes.
talking just like I'm talking, we just talking about what's going on at home. It's that common for me to talk about leadership. And you always feel like, oh my God, that's it. That's it. But it's because it's the space that I've been in and I'm very comfortable with that. But I want the people to know who you are and why are we even on this topic today, the topics that we are going to kind of chat about. Talk to the people about that really quickly.
Yes, yes. And I'm just so glad the way that you flowed into that because you triggered a thought. Because there is intentional, cultivated leadership, and then there's leadership by default. And so that's going to explain to you a little bit about who I am. So, my name again is Carmen Ray. I reside here currently in the beautiful state of Arizona. I've been navigating these traditional entrepreneurship ways for about 30 years, over 30 years actually. But more recently, 8 years ago, I started exploring a different business model in addition to my traditional business and network marketing. So I'm one of those leaders that ended up in leadership roles by default. Not like Director Denise. I wasn't intentional. I didn't go get formal education for it, but all I knew is that I came from a family of entrepreneurs. So by default, when you start a business, you are expected to be the leader. So I found myself at 26 years old leading as executive director of a child care center, serving 100 children with about maybe 16 staff. Most of the staff was older than me, and so I had to get it out the mud. So I took those same skills and that grit and positioned myself as a leader with Planet Marketing. Planet Marketing is an amazing company. It's 9 years old. It's a debt-free company. It's filled with people with all kinds of backgrounds. And I just took my entrepreneurial skills, a little bit of what I learned in corporate. I took my 3.5 years of college and I transferred it over here. And as a result of that experience and that influence, it landed me right beside Director Denise, and we're in the top 1% of the company. But that is how I want you guys to think about this business. It allows you, in our conversation today, this is more than this business. We want you to just see that it's a vehicle for us to get to that next level. So you could be that person with multiple advanced education and you can still be successful in this business as long as you're coachable. You can be somebody like myself that ended up, and because we're leaders if we want to say it or not, because if you're navigating your household and you got children, you got a relationship, if you are leading in your community, in your church, you're leading somewhere. And we're saying we just want you to take those leadership skills and see how they can be transferable. So that's kind of a little bit about me. Just as some people are afraid of leadership or they afraid of business, that's how afraid I am of working for somebody. So we both are afraid, but because I come from a group of entrepreneurs, the thought of me spending my days, my years getting tons of education, tons of financial aid and debt, student loans and all of that I acquire, I still did not have the discipline to finish my degree. I'm 15 credits away, but I'm surrounded by people who have tons of education and people that have no education, but they're still earning over six figures in this business. So I love something that creates an equal playing ground, Director.
Come on, y'all. Give it up for Director Carmen Ray's introduction. I want to point out what she just said. She said some people, and I might change it up a little bit. She said some people have like this fear of jumping out in the deep and working for yourself. She said she has a fear of working for somebody else. Come on, y'all. There used to be a time where there was so much comfort in working for someone else. Let somebody else do it. Right? Let them do it. Find somebody else to do it. Somebody else to run all the payroll and the hiring and the firing and the this. And when the fire alarm goes off, or if you don't have enough supplies, let somebody else do it. Now, guys, it's okay to do all of that yourself. It really is, because one thing you know for sure is that you're not going to fire yourself. Am I right about it? You're not going to fire yourself. You all heard a little bit of Carmen's background, and most people, especially if you're on my live feed, most people know what I do. You know what I've done. You know I've been an educator all of my adult life. We see you out there, Miss Jackie Delane. Shout out to the educators in the house. Educators have always felt like they had a safe space when it came down to going to work. Why? Because most people don't want to work with children. Most people don't want to work with hard-head children, hard-head adults, staff, parents. They always used to tell us like, man, God bless you. I wouldn't want your job. Trust me, you didn't. You did not want the job that we went into every day. And we were crazy enough to love it. And some people still love it. I still love leadership. I just don't want to do it under the political realms that education has to face. I just don't want to do that anymore. And like Carmen said, when you take your skills from one area and take them to wherever else you're going to go, guys, you can't run from you. So if you were killing the game over there, you can really kill the game for yourself. But we just don't believe that. And that's what we were talking about this morning. We're really trying to figure out, guys, Director Carmen and I are really, really on a run. We are. And see, the difference between us and some others would have quit by now, because they would feel like, if I hadn't gotten here, if I hadn't reached this goal yet, then why am I still doing it? It is so easy to quit. Somebody put that in the chat. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But I'm not everybody. So I'm up for the challenge. Director Carmen is not everybody, right? So we're up for the challenge. We're up for it. And the thing is, just like educators stay in it because they love it. In some cases, some people stay in it because they don't think there's anything else out there, and it's just a safe space. But we were crazy enough to say that the same skills that we've acquired to do what we did in corporate America for someone else's jobs, we're crazy enough to believe that we can do that same thing for ours. And that's why we're still here. So guys, but what comes along with it? Thank you, Lauren. Lauren's following instructions. She said, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Exactly. Exactly. I want to give a shout out to everyone who's not a quitter. Let's just give them a round of applause, Director, because there's so many people out here who are quitting something because it doesn't go right. That's one of the first topics we're going to talk about today is in leadership. When you are in leadership and leading is in you, you already understand that there's a level of personal development that comes along with everything you do. And everybody wants to raise their hand and say, I'm a leader. Me, I am. Oh, I know I'm leading. But you really aren't. If a leader without followers is just a person taking a walk. And you got to have some followers. But now, Director Carmen and I can attest. I know you can, Director, unmute, because I know you can chime right in and cut me right off when I say this. The difference is we cannot keep settling for people who want to follow just for the sake of being in the crowd. It's not that. We want people walking alongside of us, not just behind us, but walking alongside of us who have the same drive, the same vision, the same passion, the same stick with itness.
Yes,
we do. Because one thing for sure, Carmen, I want you to take over from here. One thing's for sure. I don't care how tough it gets, Lanisha, Michelle. I'm just looking at a few of them who are on here. I don't care how tough it gets. Carmen knows there's not a day that's going to happen that I'm going to call her and tell her I quit. I'm
never.
Carmen can say how you feeling. I can say I'm not. I ain't feeling it today. I ain't feeling it. Team ain't doing, I ain't doing, ain't none of us doing, but I'm not. She never has to worry about me quitting and vice versa. I don't care how stagnant she might feel in anything.
That's right.
No, you ain't quitting. Talk about that, director.
Man, is no way. And that's really the people. We are so busy. Let me give y'all a quick example that ain't got nothing to do with nothing, but that's how I roll. You're gonna learn that. But I wanna just show y'all the difference. Some people, when they think about business, they think it's all about them. I've been there, done that. Listen, the money that I was able to earn operating those child care centers, I thought it was sweet, but it was not. Yes, just like Director Denise was able to scale her profession to six figures, I was able to scale that business to six figures, but it was such a sacrifice, right? So when you're thinking about not being a quitter, I'm 62 years old and I can't wait to quit something. I want to quit something and know that because of me not showing up, that my business still can go on. Yesterday, I had big plans, guys. I had my list. I was ready to go work out on the patio, but my daughter picked me up. My youngest daughter picked me up. She was like, just ride with me. Don't ask no questions. I had my work bag. Listen, she took me and we stopped to go get coffee, my favorite coffee place. I didn't know where she was taking me, but she was taking me on the other side of town to meet my oldest son. And when I tell you, I sat out there on that coffee shop in the Arizona sun for hours. I had so much fun, but it was such a good feeling to know that I took that little time away, that I had leaders in my team that I could quit for that day. I could quit for that hour. But when I got back, who did I hear from? I heard from Lanisha, director. She had left me a whole voicemail. I done called to play. I'm talking to this many people. I'm talking to that many people. I got another brand new person. Hey, I'm ready for my three-way. She had a three-way schedule. By the time I got back in, I was able to pick right back up. So if you are doing anything in leadership, and education and entrepreneurship, and you look behind you and nobody is following, that's an opportunity for us to sharpen our leadership skills.
That's
I
right.
called a play yesterday, short notice, with all of my goal builders. Goal builders mean that these people are serious. I never, ever, ever have to worry about them being on credit hold. They understand our product. They travel in these travel streets. They on the ocean. They everywhere. They in the sky. They flying. They understand this business model. Guess what? I got 100% attendance. We had a powerful meeting, but the day before that, a couple of days ago, I called to play. I called the play on behalf of my directors in training. I called the play. See, you got to know as a leader, where's your influence? And
That's
you
right.
can't get in your emotions about it. I called the play. I said, hey, we getting ready to get Jackie to a 1 star. We getting ready to do this thing by June 1st. Please text me if you know you're in. Not one person from her organization responded to me. Not one person from Betty Brown's organization texted me. And I was like, thank you. This lets me know who I'm focused on. I'm focused on Jackie. I'm focused on Betty, and they can focus on their team. Because why do their team probably feel like I ain't gotta text you. Yeah, Jackie is my director, my leader. Betty is my leader. And so we as leaders got to know those people were not following me. But because of my level of self awareness and my emotional intelligence, I still can be cordial. I can be supportive of those people, and I don't have to be in my feelings because I can assure you who is supporting and following my leadership and allowing me to follow their leadership is Jackie and Betty. Because Jackie said yes to me, Betty said yes to Jackie, so we on the same page.
That's it.
Lanisha said yes to my daughter, and when my daughter stepped aside, Lanisha said yes to me. She checks in with me. So if you think that you're leading something and you got nobody following you, then what are you really doing?
Right.
So that's an example that might feel like it didn't connect, but when I tell you I sat out on that patio area, drinking that coffee with my kids and talking about all kind of stuff for hours. I'm like, this is what leadership should feel like. I shouldn't feel like my business got to crumble because I'm taking a couple of hours away. And that's where you keep getting those layers of leadership. Can you imagine being somebody like Director Walter and Tiffany Powell, and you got a team over 3,000 that they can literally go to Eagles weekend and know, like, we farther away from them. We all the way in their downline, way down there. But because they was at Eagle weekend, did you think for 1 second we was gonna start working our business?
Not at
Y'all,
all.
Mr. Bradley has created something where ordinary people can make extraordinary income. And that's the only conversation I'm trying to have with people. I love it if you travel, but I care less if you travel or not. But if you want to have a conversation about how I've been paying $20 since 2019, and this company has given me no less than $1,000 every single month, if you want to have that conversation, that's the only people I'm looking for talking to right now in this season, Director.
I almost did like this. Time out, right? But no, we want all of that energy. Lanisha said, come on with this fire. And that was one of the things we were going to talk about, tone and temperament. And I'm going to twist it for a minute because we were talking earlier about the tone and temperament of your team. But y'all can hear the tone and temperament just in what she was saying. When you know you have the right people following you, you don't have to go and chase them. And I'm not just talking about prospects. I'm talking about the people that you work with. That's you said Betty and Jackie. You know you can count on them to respond. You know that already. And that's who you work with. The crazy thing is, Mr. Bradley, Mr. Moore, all of our top leadership, they've been saying that for the longest. Run with the runners, walk with the walkers, and leave everyone else alone. You know what used to excite me was when we would get people to get started and they were so excited, y'all. I'm not just talking about network marketing. I'm talking about in whatever field you're in. Lanisha, you can attest. Jackie, you can attest. Anyone out there who just works with people and you see new people when they come in, they have a certain level of excitement and passion. Everybody's a team player. Everybody's working together. And we see that same thing in network marketing. And then all of a sudden people just go ghost. No reply, no answer, no follow-up. No, you're like, whoa, what happened to the excitement? And that's the difference. See, Lauren Bobo is on here right now. Yes, with a bunch of S's. Facts with a bunch of S's, right? She's been consistent. She started a few weeks ago. And it's not odd for people to be excited the first week. But she's in like week 3, 4 or something like that. And she's still excited. She's out here putting messages out in Michelle's group. Like, come on, y'all. Tonight is Thursday. Get your people on. I said, that's what I'm talking about right there. Find those with the right tone, with the right temperament. You excited today, but you got a whole issue and won't even respond to anybody tomorrow. That's too much up and down, right? Yes, Sheila. Good. Y'all together right now. That's what I'm talking about. Find your core.
That's it.
Find your people. Lanisha said just crickets. Find your like-minded people. That's why you and I jumped on this StreamYard today. We didn't have to plan for people. That's why we tell people it's time for you to launch your business. When you get started, nobody's saying you gotta need 30 days to plan out how to tell people what you're doing. Are you serious? When you get a new car, you're gonna get in it and drive. You're gonna get in it and drive to somebody's house because you want them to come outside and see you. You're gonna slow down when you go past the barber shop, and you're gonna blow because you know the owner. You want everybody to see that car. But we won't do the same thing when it comes down to like our business. I want you to know what I have. I want you to know that when you go and book that next trip, you can come through me. I want you to know that you don't have to go and find another job. Everybody out there who continues to work 2 and 3 full-time job, never getting sleep. We're trying to tell you, that's not the only way.
That's right.
Way. Go ahead, director.
Yes.
We bouncing. I don't even have to finish the sentence. Chime in. That's not the only way.
That is not the only way. And I want people to understand, this business is absolute. Let's talk. We always talk about who the business is for. Director, give me three people so people can opt out right now. I want you to give me three people, three personalities that this business is not for. And the reason why I've been in this business 8 years and it's more difficult for me to front line and bring people in that's personal to me is because I'm able to discern more. I'm able to look and see who is that person that absolutely quit everything that they start. They they quit everything that they start. They all in, and the next minute they're not doing anything. I know for a fact that I'm not a person that deals with people that got a problem with everything, but they have very few solutions. Like I love working with somebody with a collaborative spirit. They able to see my strengths, they able to see my weaknesses, and we can complement each other. That person that's very rigid, tunnel vision, think their way is the only way, I'm not going to work well with that person. In my desperate days in this business, I would have enrolled them anyway. Like, okay, I know they kind of weird, I know they kind of strange, but I'm gonna still get them because I just need partners.
Right, right.
Now, my discernment is different. Like I can spot the crazy a mile away. I'm like, no, I'm gonna pass on this. I'm gonna go on to the next person. But if you don't have that willingness to want to know more, then you're just not gonna be a good fit.
Yeah.
The other person that I know that is not a good fit for is that person that think that $60 a month, $2 a day is a bill. Like
Let me
if
talk
you
about
don't
that.
please talk
Let me
about
talk
that,
about that
director.
one.
Talk
Because
about that.
I was gonna say that one. So I'm glad you said it. So we're in alignment. I don't want anybody to get it twisted. We all at one point in our lives didn't have it. Whatever it was, you didn't have it. Whether it was rent, mortgage, car note, gas money, whatever it was, you didn't have it. And what that's called is being in between blessings, right? You expected to get it, you just didn't have it in that moment. We've all been there, okay? So we're not trying to act like we just so bougie, we got it together. We don't, okay? We have some moments. But what we do know now that we are well versed in network marketing, we do understand that there has to be a certain level of value that you see in this business that could move you and your family to another level. I'm not promising you to millionaire status in a year. That's not what I'm saying. But another level where like for us as One Stars, we know that the company is going to pay us minimally $1,000. Outside of anything else we might make doing anything else, we're gonna get minimally $1,000 from Planet Marketing every single month. And for $1,000 minimally there have been months where it's been more than that, couple thousands more than that, right? Minimally. And all we have to give them is $60 a month. I don't want anybody that I have to beg to get started for $200 when I know not just your children, but you rocking J's, Jordans. Michael Jordan ain't even playing anymore, but we still buying them. But see, when I picked up my nephew from home this morning to take him to school, and he had on the new black and white J's, I said, okay, Kai, those look good. Who got those? Here I am, nosy, but I want to know if my brother bought them or my sister-in-law. He said, me, TT. I said, how you got that money? Because he's 8th grade. He said, my chores. I've been saying that was important to him. He's in 8th grade. He can have his eyes on Jordans if he wants in 8th grade, but he also knows those chores got to be done so many days a week and so many weeks a month for him to be able to get them when they come out, and he got them. That's what was important to him. That's how I feel about my business. I'm not going on credit hold for $60 a month ever, especially knowing exactly what Planet and IntelliTravel can give back to me. I'm not doing that. And what I find, and I tell my team this, every time you got to beg somebody for $200, you're not getting it. You're showing them how to invest it in their family. If you got to beg them to get in, you got to beg them to stay in. When you send a message out to your people who were excited a month ago, and then they give you a one-word answer like "Thank you, I know."
Yeah.
Oh, I already know that's not the person. We thought
Hmm.
this was the person. That's not the person, and it's okay, right, Lauren? Too much begging.
Yes.
With people who don't have all that they need, you shouldn't have to beg them. Same here. I don't
Hmm.
have everything that I want yet. So I'm gonna keep on plugging in. I need to hear the IMVs. I need to be
That's
in the
right.
situation room. I need to check in with my accountability partner, Carmen Ray. Like this morning, I said, I'm calling because my momentum is sliding somewhere else. I gotta get back over here.
Yes.
And by the end of the conversation, not only has she helped me, but she said I helped her. That's
Yes.
what accountability partners do. Not gossip,
Right.
not talk about all the wrong stuff that the team is doing. No, we not. That's not an accountability partner. That's a gossip partner. We
That's
don't want
right.
leaders don't want you to go find gossip buddies. We want you, especially if they're in your business, you want that to be a strategic planning partner. Come
Right.
on, Carmen. I know you got something to say on that.
Oh wow, that's it. That's it. That's it. And the beauty of this business is that your strategic partner, your accountability partner may not even be financially attached to you. Like literally, I'm not gonna let only reason why Director Denise got some grace is because I didn't want to bother her when she was on her cruise. But I'm literally used to talking to her every day because I'm clear that iron sharpens iron, that she has some quality, she has some things, she has some energy that's going to propel me to that next level. So we hold each other accountable. So as a leader, sometimes you need to stop leading other people and lead yourself.
That's
When
it.
I tell you, because Director Denise and I, like for me, give me a t-shirt and some leggings every day. That's all I want to wear. Like that's all I'm gonna wear. And I use this story because this is the real truth. But when you're showing up for business, Mr. Bradley has a certain level of professionalism. And I'm just gonna tell y'all the truth. No, we're not talking to network marketers. We're only talking to planet marketers. And I'm not trying to say this because we're just simply different and we're better. I don't care what else you're doing. I'm happy that you have found alignment, but I've had too many people that's been in other companies, and when they come they say they love Planet Marketing because we have a straightforward compensation plan that hasn't changed over 9 years. So I'm not a network marketing professional. I would never go in front of a room and say, yep, I got this network marketing thing down pat. I don't know what it is to have to sell enough perfume, diet supplements, and enough jewelry to get my money. Like, I don't know what that is. I'm not a product salesperson. I can only speak to, lead, and advocate about Planet Marketing.
Come on,
Now,
Carmen.
because that's something I know 100%. The reason why I can know 100% because I'm attached to the founder. Whenever he calls a director meeting, I'm right there, front and center, learning. Whenever my upline calls a play, I'm going to be right there and learning. So I'm staying coachable. So I don't market myself as a network marketing professional, but I am a Planet Marketing professional all day, every day. It's not much you can tell me or ask me about this business that I don't know or I can't go find. So that's what makes you really know and to be able to identify who you want to work with. So when we're looking at accountability partners, we want somebody that's going to stretch us out our comfort zone. So Director Denise, like, we got to look the part. And I'm like, dang, she's trying to make me come out of these flip flops. I'm in Arizona. We just don't get dressed up. We just don't get dressed up. We can go in a 5-star restaurant and people gonna have on a t-shirt and some jeans. Like that's how we roll here. Yes, I'm from the Midwest, but you would think I was born and raised in Arizona because things are not about clothes and stuff like that. So Director Denise had been getting on me, Carmen, like we gotta have our suit. She went and got her a real cute black blazer. She comes ready every time. She is a speaker and she is ready for that look. But I've heard Mr. Bradley say that before, but because I have access to Director Denise, I respect her, I admire her. We have a mutually beneficial relationship. And when she kept talking about that black suit, my daughters heard her talking to me about that black suit. Y'all, I had the black suit on my list. They was like, we gotta quick have our mom stop being so tacky. They went and bought me a black suit, honey. So
That is too
so
funny.
they
That is
went and
too.
bought me a black suit. And Director Denise is absolutely right. We have to look the part. It don't have to be 10 black suits. We know if our budget say we can have a good one or two black suits. If for the men out there, they can change their tie around, we can change our shoes, our top, or whatever it is. But I'm on my way to Atlanta. I'm going to be there in Atlanta at them Tuesday night meetings where the millionaires play. Trust and believe I'm going to be looking the part. Whatever I got to do, they might say, she just wore that. Yep, sure is, because I'm a minimalist. I ain't going to have a whole bunch of it, but I'm going to have the right stuff that when I walk in the room, people are going to know that I'm in the top 1%, because we got to play to a different level, right, Director? Talk about that looking the part. When we see JP Watkins, when we see those different leaders and they have a team, Director Natalie Graham never comes to play. Everything about Nina Vitale says class, high expectations. If y'all rolling with me, this is the look. She is one of the standard setters. Talk about these leaders. And some people think it's all superficial. No, I'm 62 years old. I'm not into big houses, cars, and all of that. But I am into leadership and alignment. And the reality is, before you open your mouth, people are going to judge you based on how you look.
That's it. That's it. Whether we like it or not. Everybody talks about not judging. And we know there's a book that most of us read that's Judge Ye Not. You are not the judge. That's true. But people judge. People judge. What right, wrong, or indifferent, they judge. And without saying a word, they look. And they look at you from head to toe. They do. Like if I have to go and present somewhere, right? Braids, some people like, some people don't. Some people may think this is a bit much, too extensive, but there's a certain way that you can still carry yourself even with braids, right? You need to make sure the edge, in my case, I got to make sure the edge is down. If I want to put, get those right, I can make this a little tighter, make it a neater bun versus a messy bun, get that makeup right, and have that suit together. And people will respect you the same way they would anyone else. But if every time you show up, so right, dreads too, if you got that lining right, people can respect it differently. But like Mike laughed and said, we live on a resort in Arizona, right? That's okay. Like that's okay, depending on where you're going. Mike knows if he's coming to present somewhere, Mike putting on that collared shirt. Mike is going to have on some slacks. And I used to tell my staff as a principal, if I would say for parent-teacher conferences, I want us all in a blazer, all black, any color blazer, pop the color or whatever. They come, oh, Miss, I don't have a blazer. And I said, as an adult, you should, though. And he's my young adult, 22, 23. I said, go somewhere and find one. Well, where do I go? I said, Lord, have mercy. But I told him. And if your budget does not match Macy's, Nordstrom's, wherever, go right to Value Village or whatever it's called, the Salvation Army, or the Goodwill, wherever you need to go, and you go to the right Goodwill, it might still have a new tag on it where it wasn't worn. Somebody just changed their mind, but you have to be intentional. We talked about that earlier. It's a mindset. It's a mindset. You ain't never going to be able to tell you couldn't tell when I didn't have any money at all, if I was broke or not, based on how I looked when I came out the house. And I told Director, literally, there are some times where, like recently, I just got back from the cruise. I just still feel cruisy. I just want to put on a sundress right quick, right? I just want to put on some flip-flops right quick. But if I'm going somewhere and I'm going to be around certain people. Like one thing about me, y'all, I don't do a whole lot of prospecting when I'm just sitting in certain places just because I think I'm going to find somebody there. I don't do that, especially depending on how I'm dressed that day. And truthfully, at the level we're at and what we're trying to accomplish, there almost should never be anywhere that you're going where it's okay. I ain't looking for anybody. That might be the one day you find your jewel. You find that one that's going to run with you, because when the rest of your team ain't. You need to be somewhere in position. You need to be a magnet. What did Millie say? Shout out to Millie, one of our newest business partners. She said, money flows like a river. I said, you better come on and speak it. You should be attracting people. People are either attracted or not to your energy. They're attracted or not to your personality. They're attracted or not to how you carry yourself, how you dress. And some people say things like, you don't take all that. She did not have to come in here with red bottoms on. Okay, maybe you didn't, but maybe I thought I should. And if it ain't red bottoms, she ain't gotta have on heels today. We just here for a lab. Well, I want to walk into the lab in heels. That's on me, you know? And think about it, because I went and looked at pictures. I look at pictures all the time. Some pictures, every time you see this group, they dress to the nine. But then I put it next to another picture, and some got on jeans, some got on ripped shirts, some got on a swimsuit. I mean, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? And just think about that. If you see somebody in a suit, somebody in a t-shirt, somebody in pajama pants, and somebody in a swimsuit all in one picture, you know what you're going to ask? What are we doing here? What is this? Is it a business meeting? Is it a social gathering? Is it a pajama party? If you have to ask that, if somebody has to ask that question, you miss the assignment. And you want to look like, you cannot go to it's just like I used to always say to somebody, you can't keep screaming broke, but you want people to get in business with you. Your business brings you money. Your business brings you money. I got to keep saying that business is supposed to bring you money. You invest in order to earn. That's why my $60 a month keeps that income flowing in, not one check, not two checks, but up to 10 checks a month now, because of my $60 investment. But you always hollering about broke. You're not doing something right. And if you want somebody to come to a professional meeting with you, you need to be looking professional. If you're picking them up, you're the ride, get your car together. I used to have to tell myself, I gotta make sure my car on point. I don't know what. One day JP was like, I'm riding back with you. I'm like, okay. I have to go check the car right quick, right? But those are things that you learn. For those who don't know JP, she's the next millionaire in the company. And she said, I'm riding from Chicago to Milwaukee with you. But we got everything, all clothes and everything in the back seat. You know, it's a trait that you carry with you all, and we don't want to lose that. Let's look at these notes in the chat. Look at Shamani, Carmen. You see Shamani's notes in here?
No, I can't see the comments.
You can't. She said, dang, my mom done passed that tacky jean down to me. She said, I'm a sucker for leggings and a t-shirt. Ain't nobody gonna take me seriously. But then she turned around and said, I need to dress more professionally. Y'all helping me so much. That's what it's about, y'all.
Yes.
Said Quiet Storm. We can practice this at the PBR. You know why? Because at the PBR, that's the private business reception. We shouldn't come in there in a sweatsuit. If it's a private,
that's right.
It's not happening in Michelle's basement. It's happening in her living room, which is beautifully laid out. So It shouldn't be we walking up in there, you know, you can, and be mindful of who you're inviting to the private business reception. Because if we're doing business, you don't want anybody to be confused. Don't come in here smelling like weed. Don't come in here smelling like a whole bunch of other outside social stuff. But you come into the business reception at someone's home. Go ahead, Director.
Woo, yes, we're gonna wrap it up because we even appreciate y'all hanging on here. There's a couple things that's going on and coming up. One of those things is happening tonight. I have literally just put together an amazing cruise that's going to be happening in April of 2026. You guys want to be there. This is my 13th year hosting a retreat for women entrepreneurs, but we're going to have only 4 hours of workshops, and the rest of it is all fun and relaxation. So get ready for that. And I'll put the flyer. I'll make sure that the flyer is posted on my page. I'll give it to Director Denise. And we are also making sure that people know that we are open for business, and we're sifting and sorting for really good quality partners, people that don't feel like they need to have it all figured out. So Director Denise is going to talk about what's happening tonight. And then this Saturday, we want to make sure we're working smarter and not harder. So we want to make sure that you know how to leverage and utilize AI. So all of that stuff, when you come to my YouTube page, just look up Carmen Ray. You can look up Be Well Lifestyle, Be Well Travel Lifestyle Magazine. You can find me anywhere on all of the socials. That's where you're going to see all of this stuff. But I want to make sure that Director Denise let y'all know what's going down tonight.
So thank you, Director, tonight and every Thursday. Listen, what I used to do is focus on having my team know that they need to go ahead and invite people to see. Today, I focused on me, telling me, get my prospects on the line, because I met so many people on this amazing 8-day, 7-night cruise last week for Mother's Day. And I'm working on getting them invited to see what it is we're doing. And guess what, y'all? There are some people I met on the cruise I don't want. Nope, that's not the type of person I'm looking for on my team. I'm not just looking for bodies. I'm looking for bosses. Okay, I'm looking for influencers. I'm looking for driven people who are in it to win it, not just because it sounds good, but because it is good. And so tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, you want to get on our Zoom, 277-973-9239. The passcode you can get from whoever invites you out. You can inbox me or Director Carmen or anyone else who invites you, depending on who sees this, to get that passcode so that you can join us. Yeah, but we're here to do business. We're not here to play business. We're here to do business. And we don't have any time to waste. Time waits on no one. Planette waits on no one. So the directors wait. We wait on no one. We got to move with or without you. So if you are in it to win it, you know you have a strong enough why, you have children, you have a spouse, anything could happen, you all. I just want y'all to be prepared. I want to say this too in closing. April 24th, I had a car wreck. First time I had a major car accident. Airbag deployed. I got a broken ankle, bruised knee, minor little bruises here, but nothing major, thank God. But I just thought about how I'm driving now. I have a rental taken care of by the insurance. The insurance called today saying they're coming to pick up the car to do their final assessment, this, that, and the third, right? And I'm just thinking about how easy this process has gone so far. But it's because as a responsible person, and this is what you got to look at when you're going after prospects, people who are responsible are going to make sure that their own insurance is kept up. People who are responsible, you get in an accident, they make sure that other person is on site, has insurance. You're just taking care of business. In the event that they didn't have insurance, I do. And shout out to me having a husband who pays attention to things like that, making sure things are kept up. That's the way your business partners ought to be with their business, making sure my business is caught up. Why? Because if anything I had a car accident. So the day I was on my way to one of my contractual obligations, I couldn't make it because I was being transported by ambulance to the hospital. For 2 weeks, I couldn't go to that contractual obligation, but I was still able to work from home and still able to earn checks. Even the day of the accident was a Thursday, and we get paid every Thursday. I got paid from Planette Marketing. If you keep your Planette Marketing and IntelliTravel accounts active, you won't miss a check. And I'm just grateful for that, you all. This business is not like in the cut. This business has become livelihood for some of us. And when I tell you it's been a blessing, it's been a blessing. Even before you go full time, it can be a blessing to you on a part-time basis. So just like I paid that, or my husband and I make sure that insurance premium is paid every month, every 6 months, however that should go, so that we have no problems in an accident. Make sure your monthly investment is taken care of in your business. So when that job surprises you, if it happens, you got to work from home on your business. You want your business to be active. So I hope this message goes out to those of you who may be on credit hold, those of you who may have partners on credit hold. Remember, I got 2 partners reactivated today who said enough is enough. I'm ready. I have to work this business so that it can work for me, y'all. Meet us on the Zoom tonight, 7 p.m., 277-973-9239. Get the passcode from us. And look, It is time to run. Again, you know what I'm going to say? You may see us again at the beaches across the country or the banks around the world, but wherever you see us, we will always be PlanNet proud. Thank you, Director. We will be back.
Yes, we will. Thank you all. Thank you so much, Director.